Hello, my name is Ashley. For those of you who don't know me, I figured today, since I was going to do a cooking class and that wasn't able to be held, I'll kind of do a little cooking class at home and I'll post this for you guys so you can check it out and maybe make this at home if you have these ingredients. So today I'm going to make a quarantine burger, a veggie burger. Really, it's just pretty basic. We have beans, quinoa, this is already cooked. I have peppers already cooked. These are the pinto beans. This is the quinoa already cooked. And then I have some spices. So it's pretty basic ingredients. What we're gonna start with, well, I first of all washed my hands, don't worry. I preheated the oven to 375 and I have my food processor here. So I'm gonna actually put half of these ingredients into the food processor. I like my veggie burgers to have a little more texture. So I don't put everything into the food processor, but you can if you like. So I'm gonna just put half the beans in there. And then I'm gonna put half of the vegetables. So you can do peppers and onions. You know, I only really have peppers and garlic here, but you could do kind of whatever floats your boat. And then I'm just gonna do those two, blend it up, and then I will put the rest of the ingredients in a bowl and then mix it all up and form patties. Stir it up a little bit. So the beans are a great source of protein and fiber, of course. And the peppers are a good source of vitamin C, which we all need right now. And the beans act as a good binder to hold everything kind of together. So we're gonna actually, I like it a little bit more texture like this, so I'm gonna put this into the bowl. Pour that in there, and then I'm gonna pour all the quinoa as well. So the quinoa acts as a dry ingredient so that it's not too wet and that it will kind of crisp up in the oven, but it also works as a good texture. So it adds a little bit more texture here. So the other option for these burgers, you could do a white bean burger. If you like more of an Italian flavor, you could do nutritional yeast and basil, parsley, oregano, marjoram if you wanted. But I'm gonna do, what I have for my spices here are chili powder. So I have some chili powder and smoked paprika right here. I have crushed red pepper and garlic powder. I have cumin and a little bit of turmeric, and I have a little bit of coriander and black pepper here. So that's my spices. So I'm gonna actually throw those in here as well. Just throw everything in there. This is one of my favorite meals, I guess, because it's really easy, and I like easy, and I like food processor recipes. So I'm gonna throw the rest of the beans in there. The peppers also add kind of a wet ingredient so that it's not too dry. And then the quinoa. So we're gonna just kind of mix this up together. And then with my nice clean hands, I'm going to form the patties. And also, if you find that it's not binding together enough, I might also go get my nice little potato masher and mash it up a little bit more. And then that way it will stick together more. So that might also be something that you want to keep an eye on. So I might be doing that. So let me get my little potato masher. And I'm going to mash it up. And you can kind of smell all the flavors or the spices in here as well. You can also, if you have cilantro, I would definitely add that in. I just don't have it right now, so I'm not adding it in today, but it's a great addition for the flavor profile. All right, that's a pretty good consistency. So this is kind of the consistency you want it. You want it wet enough to form a patty, but not too dry to where it will fall apart. So now I'm just gonna form probably patties about this big. It's really depending on your preference. If the bigger you do them, the longer they'll take in the oven. The other option, if you don't want to do it in the oven, if you have an air fryer, you can also air fry them. That also works. Or you can pan fry them. So I try to do oil-free cooking as much as I can. So I'm not going to pan fry them, but if you wanted, you could put a little bit of an oil on the pan and you could pan fry them until they're crispy. So I'm probably gonna form, not really sure how many of these we'll make. Maybe 8. And the good thing about veggie burgers is you can freeze them. So times like these, that's a great thing to do, to have some frozen veggie burgers. It smells so good. The other wet ingredient that is great for making veggie burgers stay together well is sweet potato. Or even you could do white potato as well. But sweet potato gives it a good, just a natural sweetness to it. Yeah, I feel like we're gonna get about 8 out of this. So I use 1 can of black beans. I probably use about 1.5 cups of cooked bell pepper, and I diced it, and I had cooked it in some water, so without any broth, without any oil, anything like that. And then I also use probably about a tablespoon of each of the spice bowls, and a cup of quinoa. So there's a bunch of different varieties of quinoa. You could use white quinoa like I did today. There's tri-colored quinoa, and then there's also just red quinoa. So that red quinoa is going to have a tougher consistency. So as you can kind of tell in these patties, they have a lot of chunks. That's just kind of how I like them, but you can also do them more pureed if that's how you like them. So you can really see the beans, and the benefit of that is that you're getting more fiber and it's more filling. So you don't necessarily even need any like flour or anything like that in this, but if you needed a dry ingredient and you didn't have quinoa, you could also use like a whole wheat flour. If you have oats at home, you could just literally put them into the food processor, make oat flour out of it, use that as your dry ingredient. You could use brown rice as long as you have it cooked. Or you could even just use oats, rolled oats whole, that works too, or maybe some breadcrumbs. You could take some of your bread, put it in the food processor, kind of make breadcrumbs out of it. So we're gonna put that to the side. So with my messy hands, I'm gonna just kind of show you the veggie burgers. I'm gonna put these in the oven for probably about 35 minutes, as long as they get to the consistency you're looking for. So that's it. It can be as simple as that. To make a nice, easy veggie burger. You just have to use the ingredients that you like, the spices that you like, and really just have an oven on hand, have some of these ingredients on hand, which you can easily store. You could also have done frozen vegetables too. So I hope you guys use this recipe and stay safe and stay healthy.